Abdul Carter not going to work out at his pro day. The Titans love Cam Ward so much they want 3 first-round picks, and the Browns quarterback might be found at Chipotle. Now, on All Eyes on Cleveland. Welcome into All Eyes on Cleveland on the OBR streaming network. My name is Brad Ward. The man next to me is the one and only Casey Kinnamon. Follow at Casey_Kinnamon. Good to see you filing in the chat. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. In the description below is the link to the OBR. Get over there and get a part of that unbelievable community. All that good stuff. It's tremendous. Kirk Watch 2025 going on here in the chat. Philly says, what's going on, big case dog?
The chat had no idea how close they were to their first episode of Shirtless Case. And I don't know if you noticed, I had to do an emergency hat change because we noticed that we both had the white backwards joint on. So I had to switch it up just to keep things fresh. Yeah, man, I've been going to Chipotle a lot this week, so it's kind of refreshing to see it come forefront in the news for us.
Yeah, I've never been to the one in Westlake.
Yeah, samesies. I've been to the one in Clemson though 3 times this week.
Yeah, I go a lot. And then supposedly, while we're on the topic of Chipotle, I think Tanner Bybee missed his opening day start because he had Chipotle.
Oh, Jesus.
Food poisoning.
Chipotle. It gives and it takes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. I guess it's trying to give. I don't know what is this? Kirk Cousins was spotted in Westlake. What the hell is Kirk doing in Westlake?
Here's the thing.
Tell me the thing.
Well, this can be debated. Okay, so there's people saying, "Hey, that does look like Westlake's Chipotle." Chipotle is a franchise, so any Chipotle built within a 2-year period is going to have the same design and the same setup unless they renovate an old building. So there are several Chipotles that will look like that. So that could look like Westlake. The one in Clemson also looks like Westlake, just for the record. And I went ahead and I searched Google Images. That image doesn't previously exist on Google.
No.
So that isn't something that is old and someone has repurposed.
Well, he wrote from his account underneath it.
Yeah, but he is also a massive Chipotle fan. There's a long love affair with Kirk and Chipotle. So this isn't just rare to today. The man eats Chipotle a lot. But look, dude, like I'm hoping Captain Cole's Cash is coming to save the day. But like they're not going to sign him. He's not going to sign anywhere before the draft because he's going to want assurances that whoever he goes to doesn't just draft a quarterback in the first round. And he's in the same exact position that he was in Atlanta. So
what we do know for sure is, been widely reported is that he will not waive his trade clause until after the draft. Mm-hmm. So he's not listening to anybody's word. He's not getting fool me once, don't get fooled again, as George W. once said. Won't get fooled again. And he is not going to be fooled by promises from a team that they won't draft. My question is, to what extent? Like, you can't draft a quarterback at all, and he takes you off his list? I mean, can you take one in the 5th round, 4th round? I mean, where do you draw the line here, Case?
Where does he draw the line of being threatened?
That's what I'm saying.
And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'd say 33 is pretty threatening as well.
I would say so too. So I'm thinking that, maybe you want to know this before going in.
Yeah.
If he's your solution. I don't even know if they consider him a solution.
He's the best case Band-Aid, but it's not like, it's like we got Kirk Cousins, call off the quarterback search,
Yeah, no.
and that might hurt his ego, but it's the reality of the situation. I would say, you get into the 90s, maybe he feels less threatened because it's not someone who's looking to supplant you day one, year one. Because obviously, dude, he has to know what this is. Like, he was taken in a draft after another quarterback by the same team.
Yeah.
So he like so he could he feel good because he was a 4th-round pick himself. So if you wait to the 4th round, he's got to know that if that dude shows up and is legitimate, he could eventually kick you out. That's what he did to RG3. Now it was over the course of several seasons, but the point remains.
I mean, okay, I'm not going to go all negative tonight, but we know Russ signed with the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's be honest about this. The Browns have backed themselves into a bit of a corner here at the quarterback position. But part of being backed into that corner is I want to say, screw that. I'm not letting Kirk Cousins dictate who we're drafting at quarterback. But are you really in a position to do that?
It's a terrible situation because of where the head coach and GM are this year. They can't,
You're not in any situation. You're not. You have no power. To say that. Like, listen, I view Kirk as the best option right now. I'm not saying there aren't other options, but he's the best option right now. And I'm not banking on Kirk, but
you can't.
You can't. But he is the one thing that Pete pointed out is like everybody else has got their quarterback. So if anybody's going to go get him, you know where he is. He's in Atlanta. You can go trade for him if you really need to after the draft, right? So for me, he's break glass in case of emergency. I need a starter. I don't like anything we have. Pittsburgh is going to have. What do you mean, Jacob? Pittsburgh is going to have Rodgers. Don't we think that's a foregone conclusion?
With Rodgers, nothing's a foregone conclusion. That dude could take a trip to Tibet and become a monk.
I have already penciled him in as going to Pittsburgh.
I mean, it would make logical sense, but Aaron Rodgers is not logical.
He didn't.
I think he goes to Pittsburgh or he doesn't play. I think not playing is also among the realm of options.
Okay, I guess, but
Pittsburgh are not playing. I don't think he's going anywhere else.
Right?
He's going to play in the NFL. It looks like it's going to be in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he might just retire. I'm sure. There's no way Cousins. I heard this was back at the end of the season in an interview. He told somebody there's no way he's going out like that. The way he went out with the Jets. There's no way he's going out like that. I'm just telling you. You guys can say he might go retire. He's not going to go retire. You can come back and tell me I'm wrong when it happens, but he's not going to retire. Or if he does go sit out a year, he'll come back in a year.
Yeah.
He's not done playing. He's not going out like that. And then secondly, that report is always out there with him. And I think he didn't spend 6 hours in Pittsburgh over the weekend or whatever. I think he's going there. I just do. Either way, that's the nice thing about Kirk, with the exception of maybe Pittsburgh. You can kind of treat it like break glass in case of emergency. If we really are screwed and all we have is Wentz and Pickett, then you can go, try to trade something and bring in the old bones of Kirk Cousins and salvage this thing. I mean, I would just, for the record, I'm fine with Flacco too for now. Yeah. I mean, I would rather them just sign Flacco so they have a placeholder and somebody that can run the offense in there at this point.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad. I mean, that's the Kirk thing though might be the same approach other teams are taking in case they lose a starter in training camp or someone gets hurt. Sure. He's always there to be made a trade for.
Sure.
So And Kirk's, he's going to play the slow game. Like, he's got that no trade clause. He's going to wait till after the draft, see what his best options are. But as far as teams who need a starter right now today, Cleveland is by far his best option.
Yeah, the thing about Kirk though is it's not about money or anything. It's like it's just about the situation. So
and Kirk's straight. Like, nobody has made as much money to talent ratio over the years. Every time he signs a contract, it was like maxing out what he could get at that point in time. He's stacked plenty of dough. He just probably wants to go out, these last few years playing competitive, and not too many teams can give him that.
are people just trying to get me going? I mean, based on what, Jeffrey? Based on what in God's name would you possibly rather have Carson Wentz than Flacco at this point? Based on what?
Age, probably the only thing you could probably go on, right? We've seen Flacco operate in Stefanski's offense. Do you know what I mean? So you at least got the baseline of common understanding of what he wants to do. You know that he can execute all of those things that Stefanski likes to lean on. Obviously, there's the turnovers. But if your defense is balling out the way they were balling out in 23, you can live with some of that. You know what I mean? But your offense will be explosive. And who knows what their record would have been if Flacco would have started all season in 23. They finished with 11 wins. They could have got to 12 or 13 probably based on the way that offense was rolling with him. Now that he is 2 years older, but I'd be in it.
Yeah. I know you want to take a shot on Wentz, so I don't mean to offend. I just, and his response is Wentz has only had 2 bad years in his whole career. We've hashed this out. We're not going to do it again. We know, he had a very middling year in Indy where he did not look that great, and then he was awful in Washington.
He was awful in Washington, yeah.
And he was also bad in Philadelphia where he lost his job. So it wasn't just 2 bad years. It was like 3 straight bad years, and then he's been a backup for 2 since then. So he's 5 years out of playing any kind of relevant or decent football. Not relevant, decent, good football. And Flacco looked good for multiple weeks last year before he kind of petered off.
He had a disappointing year because when he first stepped in, he was Superman, and you're throwing YOLO balls and everyone's catching everything. And then when they gave him the ball, when they benched Richardson, which made no sense because that dude needs more snaps than anything, he didn't perform well at that point. But we know that there's a schematic fit in Cleveland for Joe Flacco. That part's true.
And maybe for Wentz, to your point, I just don't know what he has left. I really don't know. Not incredibly inclined to find out, but yeah, that's I'm with you, Philly. I just I've seen him be really bad, and I don't get it. But I understand that people want to maybe give him a shot, reclamation project, whatever. I guess I would have probably tried for a reclamation project on somebody that I didn't see play so poorly or somebody we know less about. So yeah, Jeff, you're talking about like 10 years ago, bro. You're not gonna talk me into it. You're wrong. Sorry. It's not a good option, in my opinion. Casey thinks he'd try him out, and that's fine. Yeah. I'm in that. That's
if I'm bringing Flacco in, it doesn't prevent me from bringing a Wentz in and letting him battle it out.
Yeah, but I'm bringing both him.
None of those dudes are cost prohibitive,
so Cam Ward had his pro day, and everybody got on the Browns' brass for not being there, even though Glenn Cook was there, graduate of Miami. And then the Browns had a private workout with him the next day. So kind of shut everybody up there. Listen, call me what you want to call me. The more I watch him play, the more, and it's daily now. I'm watching like a game a day. I'm on like my 3rd time through his season. and even watching some Washington State stuff. I love this kid. I think he's elite.
Was the Washington State stuff what got you to Kyle Williams?
Sort of.
It did me. I was like, oh, this kid's hanging around.
Yes, he's amazing. And Chris Sims had him as his like second best wide receiver in the draft.
Yeah,
and he's way down people's boards.
Yeah, and I think ultimately he will be. But Sims, for what it's worth, Sims can have his hits or misses. He's pretty good with wide receivers. His wide receiver scouting is usually there, and he's not near close to second for me either. But like when I look at those dudes who could possibly be around day 3, he's the top of it for me. And if you were able to pair, my whole thought process when I was doing my OBR Saturday mock drafts is anytime I got a chance to go Cam, if Kyle Williams is available later, I'm bringing him in. Just that familiarity. Same thing you'll do with Elijah Arroyo or someone else. But, there's several options there. But his tape at Washington State was a lot of fun.
So I'm in complete agreement with OG Philly here. Like listening to him in interviews, watching him play, at Washington State and then this full year at Miami, I do believe he's an absolute dog. I believe he's a leader, a fierce, incredible competitor, great work ethic. And I'm in love and I don't care who knows it. Like, I think he is an elite prospect. People at the beginning, like they were putting him there with Bo Nix. No way, dude. He is a much better prospect than Bo Nix. I would have put him up there at the top of last year's class. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. Psycho competitor. He's going to demand people. He's not going to go with the flow. He's going to demand stuff of his teammates. He demands it of himself.
Yeah, man.
The arm talent's ridiculous, literally ridiculous. I don't know. There's things you have to work out of him. There's some bad habits that have followed him around from school to school. Not a perfect prospect by any means, but like if you're going to roll the dice at that position, give me a guy who, if he hits, is a top 8 dude. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's the type of guy you need to win the whole damn thing. Is a guy who can reach those levels.
Yeah, I got him as like his ceiling for me is top 5 in the whole league.
Right?
If he worked out, and I think his chances of working out are pretty good
because of his attitude.
His work ethic, his attitude. He just has that. You hear guys talking. It's just like I'm not gonna let anything get in my way. You know what I mean? And of success, and he has that about him. And then you watch him throw with accuracy and with the arm talent, and you're like, damn, dude. And his pocket presence, his feet are amazing. Incredible feet, like natural foot talent, just moving around in the pocket. And he's
and I still think there's untapped potential because of his ability to evade early in his career, to use his legs to loosen up defenses. Because he can buy time, but he usually doesn't take that to get yards. He's just trying to buy time to throw more passes, which I get at college. At this next level, you're not going to be afforded that as much. So I'd like to see you just get 6-7 yards, get out of bounds, keep the chains moving, stay on the field, elongate drives. But yeah, man, I'm glad to have you on the team, Brad.
Yeah, I know. It's a shame. It's a shame that he is one pick away.
Yeah, you can see it. Just can't touch it.
And you can't get him because the Titans are clearly have set this, they brought everybody, including their media and camera crew, to his pro day, right?
Which they should.
Which you should. I'll be interested to see. Well, Abdul's not working out, but anyways, they brought everybody there. So, but then they sent out the tweet that's like, they leaked the tweet to Schefter that said they're still listening to offers, but they feel even stronger about them. So it's going to take a stronger offer. And then now it's even come out, and you would have known this. If you're a member at the OBR, you would have known this 2 days ago, thanks to Jacob Roach, insider. But they want 3 firsts for him. The Titans do. Which is insanity to me. But I get it now.
They're not getting it.
They're not getting it. But they know that. That's like where they're at. They're in a position of power. We've got this guy. We like him as our franchise quarterback, but we aren't expected to win this year. So if somebody wants to give us 3 first, we'll take it.
Yeah.
That's where I feel like they're at. You know what I mean? Like you and with the Browns' history of Deshaun Watson, what they did with him, you can't make
you
another
can't.
all-in move like that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think you have to. I think if we circle back here in 2.5 weeks, I don't think that asking price is still 3 first. I don't think anyone's going to come close to doing that. So I still think the Browns can make a play for it, but it's
it's closer to the draft, right?
yeah, and it's after they realize that no one's reaching that level, no one's reaching that market, no one's, after the Giants move this week to sign Russell, which was dumb as shit because he already had Jameis. And in my opinion, like if you're going to draft Shador 3, if he's there, I think you just log jam the room, and Jameis was going to be so much fun with Malik Neighbors, like you fucked all that up. But I don't even know if it'll take. I mean, obviously, if you're the Browns, you're the team that can guarantee them. Outside of if you trade the Browns, you get any player not named Cam Ward this year, and you could give them even 33. I don't want to do that, but if you have to, if Barry and Stefanski believe this is the dude, I can't be mad at it. If you have that full conviction and you believe he's the dude. Going into this, I really thought you could give them a third this year and a second next year to move up one solitary spot. And if they don't get any other offers, they might bite on that.
Philly with a great question, and I'll get back to what you just said, but here's what I don't get. If teams are already not trading with them, why would they put out new info to say the price has gone up? I think that they're getting plenty of calls to get up. We know the Giants have tried to get up there, but they couldn't offer enough. And basically, I feel like they saw it is performative. I think it is. I 100% agree with you, Philly. It is performative. I think that they were just saying, we love this dude, so you're going to have to blow us away to get it to him. And I think they're basically just putting the idea out there that you're gonna have to offer something crazy to get us to move off this dude because he's a dog. And
this is also a first-year GM, and he doesn't want to get his pants pulled down in his first draft.
Yeah,
like, that has a lot to do with it. The price of the brick has went up. Is what it is.
And so. Yeah. You think they're just open for business? I don't think they are. I think that they right now. I think they really want 3, or at least reports that we know or heard of is that's the truth, and it was confirmed today nationally. And
that's where they're setting the bar.
Reveal anything else, but. I mean, so let me ask you, would you give up? So Browns are in a different situation because they know they can, like, to your point, you can trade him, trade out of one, and you can get Carter still. Like, there's no
or Hunter, or whoever your heart's desire. That's not Cam Ward.
So would you give up 2 and next year's first?
Would I? Yes, I would. I don't think they're in a position to do it, though.
I would too.
I would personally, yes, because I believe he's that dude. I'm on that team where I think that's a dude. That's a guy that you go get in 2-3 years. We're talking about being a perennial contender because of that guy. So, but that's it. Do they believe their actions will show us if they believe that? But like you said, after just selling the farm for Watson with all those first round picks and being out of the first round for years,
Yeah, I think he's the answer. So I would do it in a second. If you believe he's the answer, then you should basically be willing to do whatever within reason.
Yeah. And the difference is this time, if you gave up assets, you're also not signing a dumbass contract that cripples you financially.
Absolutely.
Because that was the double-edged sword there. Like you got it on both ends.
The difference is, Bill P., I think if they had him, I think he would start week 1, and I think they would win more games, and I don't think that first-round pick would be worth what you think it's gonna be next year. Like, you're assuming that they're gonna be bad. I think they would be a lot better with him.
It just all depends on where you stand on them. There are people that aren't into Ward, and if you're not into Ward, this sounds like a terrible idea.
Yeah,
You know what I
sure,
mean?
I
Like
get it.
it's like
And you don't
you're
have to
reaching
be.
and you're doing like I don't believe that. I believe that 6-7 years from now we're looking at Ward and he's like one of the dudes in the league. That's who I think he is.
Yeah, I agree, and
I'd hitch my wagon to him and not look back.
yeah, but I get it. If you don't believe that he is that guy, then this sounds like madness to you.
Yeah, it would 100%.
Yeah. So, anyways, I think it's going to be difficult for them to get there either way. So it's going to be tough. Abdul Carter will not work out at Penn State's pro day on Friday, per Drew Rosenhaus. He is still. This is the interesting part of the quote.
Yeah.
He is still finishing up rehab on the shoulder injury he had from Boise State game.
Mm-hmm.
He may still do a workout for teams sometime in mid-April. Odd they referenced the shoulder injury and not the foot injury that everybody's worried about.
Yeah, I call
right?
bullshit. And yeah, it's bullshit to me. Like, because if you
smoke?
say it's the foot, then all of a sudden the people who are like, yeah, it's not a big deal. Now it's a big deal. Now it's at least a deal that you have to discuss. You're making it a different body part. I call bullshit. But we knew Rosenhaus was going to come with something. This wasn't going to happen, and him just sit idly by. You know what I mean? He's gonna go to war for his client. But this feels like bullshit to me.
Yeah. Here's my thing with this, and I don't think there's anything to really worry about here. You know who he is. If you like him, you like him. You think he's the best player in the draft. But I don't think the only thing that would concern me is whatever his injury what was it called? A
stress reaction.
Not a stress fracture, but the stress reaction can lead to a stress fracture, which is the concern.
Mm-hmm.
So if it ended up in a stress fracture, that can be a debilitating injury, especially in your foot, right? That, I think, might scare some people off. Yes or no?
Yeah, it should. But it doesn't mean it's a long-term problem. But if it's still bothering him now, it doesn't behoove him to test and do all run the drills and not look like you're the dude. You know what I mean? So just go 0 dark 30. Stand on your tape. He's a crazy talented dude, man. I hope but deep down, are you not a little worried that he's not? A
little bit, but I don't think at this point, they're going to find out. If as an organization, you should be able to find out what's going on one way or another.
Well, you bring him in to your facility and have your medicals done on him. Yeah.
By the time you draft him, you got to. Yeah. You'll have him in and have your medical guys check him out before you take him in the draft, so they'll know for sure. But at this point, I don't think it's a big deal. Do you agree?
Yeah, we're still like everything's your tape's your tape. To me, that's your resume. I saw what I needed to see in your tape. I believe he's only going to get better based on his lack of experience at a position he dominated. So I don't. But it's medical, and I'm not a doctor. If a doctor checks him out and says it's a no-go, then I would have to lean on what they say.
I saw you say this last week, Jeffrey. in the chat. I'm gonna address it for you now. Did I break up?
Yeah, you're back now. I heard that last sentence. You were checking something though for Jeffrey. I heard that part, and then you went away.
No, I mean, Jeff, I love you, man, but you keep bringing up Jake Browning is the guy.
He's under contract.
You want. Browning is under contract with the Bengals, and the Bengals aren't giving you a lifeline to a quarterback that played pretty damn well for most of the year Burrow was out. So I promise you they are not trading within the division. So just throwing that out there. Yeah, I would like Joe Burrow too. All right. Next thing on the list of things to get to tonight. Well, we talked about Kirk, right? We talked about Russ. Danger. You want to talk about the mock draft? Here's the question. Do you think that's realistic? The mock, like, not for Sanders necessarily, but well, maybe, but like, do you think they could get back up and get Sanders? In your world, do you think it's possible he falls?
Is it? Yes, it's 100% possible he falls, but like we're still that sweet spot where we're so far enough out that you're hearing things that could be complete smoke screens, and all it takes is one team to be in on you. And I start going over teams that who weren't previously thought of to be quarterback landing spots that could be. You know what I mean? But only because it falls in their lap. Like maybe that's not their mentality, but it's the same thing as the Atlanta Falcons last year. For whatever reason, they didn't think Penix was going to make it to them, but when it did, they couldn't pass it. You know what I mean? One of those situations. So it depends on the individual teams' boards, but like if you're the Saints at 9, they could be in business if a quarterback slips to them that they didn't see. You know, if Shador's there at 9, maybe they pounce on it. You know what I mean? So, but he could definitely slip.
All right. Here, this is why I brought this up. This is what I wanted to talk about. So, if he slips in, you know, who would be interested? Who would take him, right? And where? Or if they like Jackson Dart enough, where would they have to get up to get him? I take the bet out of this.
Yeah, no.
I think it's very possible somebody takes him in the first. Maybe not though, but like, okay, so if he has to get past us the first time in the Giants. Let me just ask you this question: do you think there's any chance the Browns take Sanders at 2?
I do not know. I don't.
Like all the stuff you hear, you don't think they would do it, right?
It doesn't feel like it, but you know, once again, believing what teams say at this time of the year is a foolish endeavor.
It doesn't feel like it. The evaluation doesn't justify it, but it's still.
It's scary, right? It's a scary thing.
It feels like it's in the realm of possibilities somehow.
Yeah. Look, man, teams, and it's the same thing that when a guy gets floated out that could possibly be available, you'll see every Browns fan dive on it. You know what I mean? What doesn't matter who it is, if they become available, they understand we are quarterback horny right now. And so if you're in on Sanders, 2 sounds great just to get him. You know, so it just all depends on a person's evaluation. I'm particularly not high on the kid, especially at 2. To me, that sounds outlandish, but to some of the people, it makes sense. So I'm looking at the teams on this list, right? You say for the topic of this, we're saying he makes it outside of 3. 6, you could squint your eyes and see it. He's the same style of quarterback in my mind that Geno Smith is.
I just think
with Brady.
Here's the thing. At 6,
You just pay Geno.
You just pay Geno. You are going to use 6 for something else.
Well, Ashton Jeanty will probably be on the board still. That feels Raider as hell.
Yeah, it does. I don't think he goes. That the place I thought he might go is 9.
Yeah. Also 7, man. I can't they didn't sign Fields long term, and it's not such a ridiculous contract. If I could see that being a landing spot as well.
Where?
New York, the Jets.
Yeah, maybe.
The Fields contract's not crazy for
it's
NFL.
Not,
NFL starting, and it's not super long. So,
I've just never seen the Jets do anything that smart, like take up a quarterback while you have one.
Prepare yourself. One day, Brick Johnson's going to take over, boys. Build a contender there in East Rutherford.
So if he gets past 9, I kind of let's look at the next. But I think he's in a free fall here.
I can see Jerry doing some dumb shit at 12.
Why?
Because this is the last name. It's Jerry.
Dak.
It's Jerry. I'll say it again. Jerry. If there's ever been a wild card.
I know.
If there's ever been a wild card. And it's his last name. It's the whole thing.
I know, but that would just be insane.
Yes. It would also be Jerry Jones.
Yeah. But realistically, I can't believe that they would let him do that. Then they should trade Dak. I mean, what's the point?
They can't right now, but they might someday. I don't know. It's Jerry Jones, man. If I were to sit here and try to make sense of Jerry Jones, to me, that dude is Skeletor.
Good actor, though. Yeah, but so in a world where people think realistically, no at 12. But yes, I get your point. He is a madman.
Seattle at 18.
They just
how long's Darnold's deal? How long is his deal?
It's a couple of years, right? It's long. It's not a short-term deal.
That's the reason I'm asking. I don't know. You think I paid attention to?
Well, I mean, why would you sign Sam Darnold to a short-term contract after?
If I'm him, that's what I would want.
Or you're in. You're in or you're out with this guy, it feels like. Maybe I'm wrong. According to Over the Cap, Darnold was guaranteed $37.5 million at signing. Of the deal's $55 million in total guaranteed money. However, the figure never mind. That doesn't tell me how long it is.
Jacob in the chat is saying 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years.
To me, that doesn't take you out of the running.
I don't know. I mean, I guess. I just think I don't see these teams taking him.
Yeah, but it all depends on their evaluation of him. If they really think he's a top 10 player and he slides that far, it's almost like you can't ignore it.
But nobody should have him as a top 10 player. That's the point.
Nobody should, but that doesn't mean somebody doesn't. I mean.
Okay. So my first realistic thought is 21.
That's.
But I think they are in love with Dart or with not Dart. Milroe. If he goes past, I'm with you, Chef. If he goes past 9, I think he gets to 21. Personally, anything in between would surprise me. So,
do we really think that they would have Milroe higher on their board than Sanders?
Who?
Pittsburgh.
I don't think. I think. So the person that Milroe is, by all accounts, is like, this is a 5-star dude, like
human being, yeah.
human being, work your ass off all the time. He's been grinding all summer. He already looks better, his form and stuff at his pro day, right? Like, because he's been working so hard at it. And, like, I
lost you, Brad.
his ceiling is immense, and it is in there, and it's a project, and it takes a little bit, but I think they're fine with that. Because I think Rodgers will be there, and they won't feel the urgency. Yeah, exactly. Feel his work ethic for sure. Plus, he runs a 4.39, has an absolute cannon.
Yeah.
For an arm, Sanders is much better. Did I freeze again?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Watching the film, Sanders is much better than him right now.
Mm-hmm.
But project-wise, yeah. Miami says fumble, maybe, with the head issues. Where are they picking?
13.
13.
Lucky number 13.
That's a good point. But anyway, so that's what I was thinking with this when I said, well, let me take this down real quick and put this back up. Hey, now. Can you see that?
I can see it. What about y'all, chat? Can you see it?
All right. Carter at 2.
Mm-hmm.
Trading back up to 18 with the Seahawks. I don't know how realistic this is, but through PFF, it cost me 33, 94, and 1 of 4. So our third and our fourth, a third and a fourth, and next year's fourth to move up from 33 to 18. Sounds about right, right?
Yeah, it's a haul, but if you're trying to trade back into the first, move up, what is it, 15 spots?
Yeah, it's not like you're moving up to 25 or 28,
Yeah, you're moving 15 spots. That's probably what it would take to get it done.
It's something around there, right? So
yeah, hopefully only 1/4, but it is what it is. And all those simulators work.
Yeah, so I get back up to 18 and take Sanders there.
Yeah.
Now I'm trading back because I want to get some more picks, right? So you know how the simulators work. 72 back or 60. I take 67 and trade with Chicago. Our set that waste of a pick at 254 to go back to 72 and gain 148 and a fifth next year. And I take Jonah.
7 Cabernet.
Now I'm going to trade back up. And I love this shit. So I turned around and then gave up 148, 216 in the sixth. The fifth I just got, and our fifth, to get up to 103 and 120.
Raising the floor of the draft class.
Why? Because I want a safety that can compete to start right away. Andrew Mukuba?
Dumb range. The kid's got dumb range.
He's a dog.
If you're the Browns, we've been swinging and missing on free safeties for a long time.
3rd and 8. Levitt.
Yeah.
He's stupid fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yep. Great instinctually, good ball skills, and crazy range.
and he hits too.
Yeah. He's light in the ass, but
Yeah.
you need a true center fielder. He's that dude.
Well, yeah, you got to have that guy, and I don't know if Hickman is a starting caliber guy like that. You know what I mean?
And he's going to his year 3. Like, could you get by with him starting as this kid develops? Yeah, but I think this kid, he's talented, man. He's super talented, and to be available at that range, like to me, that's a steal.
So that's what the thought was there, right? Then our guy Kyle Williams,
Sir,
who I put both years of highlights in, because some of his highlights in 2023 are stupid.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
That's what got him to my attention.
Yeah.
All the way down at 2.
But yeah, I mean, he's kind of like under the radar, right? And he can fly. I think he changes your offense. Dude, I watched guys with him try to cover him press coverage because he's a little smaller, right?
Yeah.
And like his rhythmic footwork and like precision footwork, like at the line of scrimmage, he beats you like right away, like immediately, and forces guys that are trying to get physical with him and put your hands on him. Like he beats you so quickly at the line of scrimmage. It reminds you of Cooper's footwork a little bit.
Yeah.
Like he'll take like a sidestep, like a hezzy, and then he like cross you up. You know what I mean? Like at the line of scrimmage and then beat you deep.
Yeah, crosses faces, creates separation early and can pull away. I also think that people will look at his size and just make all slot receiver. I think that kid can play Z.
Yeah, same. Anyways, he's super fun. If you want to watch some fun film, he is a blast. So, anyways, so Kyle Williams, I don't want to get turned off here. Pigs 179. Tootin had to go back to him, late value. Dude, he is so fast. Did you see his 40 time?
Yeah, I saw it. And like for the love of God, go get me a young skill player that can return kicks. Boom. Yeah. There you go. We can stop with the dumb shit.
Yeah. I like him as a back too. Jay Higgins from Iowa. He's kind of an old school, but he can play well for you.
Yeah, I
need him to.
I don't know anything about Jay Higgins.
He was on a couple sleeper PFF things I saw. And then Jalen Smith, corner from USC. He's a man-to-man guy, so he fits your scheme, but he's a special teamer right away, and hopefully a nickel. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. He's a high floor guy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's made his way into several of my mocks.
That's where we're at. Yeah. He does cover well.
A little foreshadowing. My mock comes out Saturday. We have one player in common. Well, spoil that one. Who it is?
Kyle Williams.
No, not in this one. No more guesses because I don't want to spill the beans.
Okay.
And I have a different linebacker who I believe is very good at coverage as well. And I even hesitate to go linebacker just because the situation with the room and who they've added. And but I can't turn down a crazy athlete, and just not knowing JOK's future makes me nervous.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Hey, there's our guy, Mitty Pickett.
Speaking of returning kicks, what do you two think of giving the receiving team the ball at the 35 on touchbacks? I hate it. Just move the kicker back 5 yards and most kicks will be returned. I don't know. Teddy? Is that who you're talking about? Charlie Chuck? Teddy, what's his last name? Starts with a B.
Teddy Ballgame? Teddy Two Gloves? Teddy Bridgewater?
No.
Who are we talking about?
Linebacker from UCLA.
Carson Schweschinger?
I was thinking of the guy that goes late. Teddy something. Anyways.
No,
So this guy,
UCLA linebacker, it's got to be Carson, man. But he's going to go way the hell too high to be in our range for a linebacker.
Ayuk?
I mean, is this a question? Yes, please.
Yeah, it's a question.
Yes, please. I think we. Like, come on, man.
We don't even know
the rumors that you've heard about who they're offering up to try to get him.
Teller?
Yeah. Where you stand on that?
I prefer they not. I'd rather, looking at the Jenkins contract, it feels like he's depth, not a starter, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, you haven't got to talk about it recently.
There it is, Teddy Buchanan. Yeah, so I mean, I want him, so I guess I would do it. But just like I really like the idea of Jenkins being depth or whatever you need him for, in making sure this, you know, run game is intact.
Yeah.
I know he's starter ready, world's fastest, but he's injury prone as hell.
And there's a wild card in this, and it's something we don't know because we're not privy to. Where's Zenter at?
Right.
You know what I mean? He was drafted with a draft slot that would lead you to believe they believe he will be a starter. But, you know, coming off that broken leg, his play strength didn't look to be there. Another year of getting healthy, being in an NFL strength and conditioning program. Phenomenal run blocker. Like, is he there now? Only they know that. We don't. But that would make if he is going to be that guy and Jenkins to bolster the depth, it would make Teller expendable. And you're capitalizing on a name.
Yeah, if you think he's ready, and Teller hasn't been fantastic,
but his name's still up there, so you're capitalizing on the name.
Yeah, it's how do you phrase that? The brand is worth more than what's behind it at this point.
The product, yeah.
So, you know, sort of selling high on the name value and the return. I don't think he'd be ready for week 1, but maybe he would. But does it bother you that he didn't want to come here so badly last year?
It should. It should more than it does. But I get
I feel like if he got here, he'd be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe so too. I just think he fits with the way you want to play offense.
Yes.
And I view him as a total package at the position, man. And agnostic to alignment. You could find combinations with him and Judy where you're really taking it to defensive backs, man.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I'm with you, World's Best. His diva attitude is not ideal. It's like in an NFL locker room, you can afford like 2 of these guys on your roster.
These can't be at the same position.
Yeah.
You can't have 2 in the same room.
As long as you have some player leadership. Now, that's a question about this roster.
Yeah,
who is your leaders on this roster?
Batonio. David Njoku.
Njoku. Should have been JOK. We don't know.
Yeah, he would. Yeah, I agree.
Delpit.
I would love to see Delpit take more of a vocal role. We have quiet leaders, and that's kind of been their run.
That needs to change some.
Yeah, I agree. That's
why I like Cam Ward pick.
Boy, he'll take charge. He ain't gonna play the background.
Yeah, that's a real issue for this team.
It is. And for everything that Miles is, he's not that guy. And he's tried to be. He's made an attempt at it. He's just not very good at it. It's not his bag.
Yeah, I don't know how Miles can stand on a leg to be a leader anymore after this offseason.
And I'm cool with him just seeing ball and getting ball. See ball, get ball.
Yeah, that's fine. Denzel, sure, I can listen to that. He's not very vocal though. Also takes a back seat kind of when you need him to. Teller, yes, that would be something you lose in that trade. Teller is a vocal leader, I believe.
Yeah, Joel's he is obviously one of the leaders of this team, but it feels like he's reluctant to do so. Chubb was, and he didn't even speak.
Yeah. Well, I think he'll be back, but...
Yeah, and me too. The longer this plays out, the more likely it is that he lands back here,
we just haven't heard anything. It's been radio silence, right?
Yeah, there's been nothing from anything. You're hearing teams that are interested, but like there's no or anything. World's fastest, I do believe an offensive lineman, if he's elite, can regulate anything. He's an offensive lineman. No one's testing that. If you're elite, if you're just some run of the mill guy, you could be raw as you want. That'll get phased out.
Interesting. Yeah, I tend to agree with him. Well, and he's worth more here too to your team because he's an established.
And for the love of Jesus, you need some good vibes. Like you just need a win in the vibes department. You've gotten none so far.
You will be vocal. That is true. Maybe he turns out being a good thing. Maybe you need somebody to speak up more like that and bring some attitude,
He's not going to be accepting of the situation. And
like, are they too quiet? Are they too, you know what I mean? Just like maybe they need some killers. Right?
Yeah, God. Yeah, you're speaking my language.
Yeah, I'm ready to see Whitebeard catching footballs. Are you kidding me? Right in the freaking turkey hole. All right.
All jokes aside, I need that dude to be third string. I need another tight end on this roster. Like I need fucking air.
Yeah, seriously. Trevion is a dog, yeah. Did they tone out Baker? I don't know. That's a good question. No, I think Baker was a pretty good leader when he was here. What do you think?
I think he had the respect of the offensive line. I know that. Every time they talked about him, they were willing to go to war for him. And a quarterback needs that from his line.
He was also younger and immature then than he is now, as he's talked about a lot recently. Have you seen that clip going around about him talking about reaching rock bottom and stuff?
Nope.
You haven't?
No, sir.
It's pretty interesting. He found the Lord.
It probably happens when your dad steals all of your money.
Need the Lord when that happens.
You need the Lord. Need someone on your side. If your dad isn't on your side.
I'll give you this, Levi. Jarvis was Jarvis was the culture for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, people will clown. I mean, look, you were at such a desperate point when you got him. You needed somebody to fucking take charge. Somebody who's done something, that you could point to, and he wasn't an elite wide receiver. He was putting up decent numbers in Miami because he was a volume guy. But the fact that somebody was willing to say enough of this shit, like, I always love that group of players because of what it represents to me, because we were just for years trying to roll that boulder up a mountain, and they kept rolling back on us and rolling back on us. And they finally got it up to another level. And he was a huge part of that.
You ready, doggy?
Let's fucking party.
So do you want to go? You're watching All Eyes on Cleveland on the OBR streaming network. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. That's Casey Kinnamon. My name is Brad Ward. We appreciate you being here. Let's do a little mock. Huh? A lot going on. Let's mock it up.
Rock out with our mocks out. Let's go.
Let's take my mock. Ooh, that was a little aggressive.
It was.
Public.
She loves the mock. Loves it.
Public versus PFF board.
Let's split this bitch down the middle.
Yeah.
Let's get wild.
Randomness.
Yeah, just bump it a little, but not crazy. I don't want
a little bit, right?
Right.
Now, the thing that bothers me is if Cam Ward doesn't go 1, then I get frustrated, right?
Yeah, but I can't turn it down. I'm not in the business. Hey, look, man, I'm not going to question Tennessee's decision here.
All right. We'll treat it as such. 2, 33, 67, 94, 104, 179, 192, 200, 216, and 254. Begin draft. Abdul Carter went on.
Dude, we did it. We did it. It's the drought's over, baby.
Oh, my Lord.
The drought's over. Ah, God damn it. That felt good.
Did.
To all of you, he ain't going to be there. Look, dude, I can't control the board. The board dictated what just happened. We didn't do that. The board did.
Win.
Goddamn straight, it's a win.
What do you want to do at 33?
Was there any offensive tackles available for me to even ponder?
We've got a lot of trade offers here. There are not many close here. Man, hold on. Why are there none left here? There's usually some.
Yeah, I was hoping for someone to slip through the cracks.
Hold on. Where's the... Oh. Where'd they all go? All right. Carter, Ward, Hunter, Campbell, Genty, Graham, Warren, Tet, Kenneth Grant.
Damn. As a Rock who went way earlier than I think he'll go. He's a good player, but
he's a good player.
That damn high.
I think Armand Membu has a chance to go higher than 13 for sure.
Yeah, he's the best tackle in the draft, in my opinion.
Yeah, Simmons, Banks, Zabel in the first round. I haven't seen that often.
And Connerly got snapped right before. That's the guy I was kind of hoping might still be there.
All right. So we can trade back, or we can take one of these guys.
Okay.
You want to view the trades?
Let's view the trade. Yeah, let's view the trade.
So we could go back to 43.
What are we picking up, though?
Well, we have to work that out.
This is what I don't like about PFF.
Tampa Bay is 53. I don't want to go back 20 spots. So you have to actually negotiate the trade with them. So can we get 75? Probably not. No. Can we get 100? Yes. And can we get 160? Yes. See, it's just so unrealistic sometimes. Can we get a future second? No. Future third? No. Future fourth? Yes. How about that?
Word.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Done. Suckers.
Okay. What's available to us at 43?
Great corner. Great edge. Already got. No, we don't have an edge.
No, we didn't do the thing. Good strong side edge.
Still no tackles. You like him?
Hey, I like him. Can anybody in the chat verify this dude's age?
No.
I couldn't do the. I quit even looking at. I know he played 5 years in college.
You can't find it.
Yeah, I asked other like draft analysts, but I've stopped in the last 2 weeks. I haven't even tried. So somebody cracked that case.
The question. This is a bit of a reach for him, though. No.
I feel like it is. Yeah. No, I'm not going tackle no matter what. I just want to see what's available to us. If you start thinking about position scarcity, I start looking at a wide receiver in this range as well because the further you get away, the less likely it becomes.
Who do you like better, Hairston or Revel? I like Hairston better.
I like Hairston better because I think he's going to be a better man corner. Revel's got so many tools, but he's super raw.
This dude, Nick Amano, he's gonna be special.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say crazy stuff, but I think he's gonna be a better version of what Grant Delpit is.
Yeah. Your pick, buddy.
All right.
What do you want? What do you want?
Go. You're going too fast for me on the screen, buddy. Let me see here. Too early for Elijah for me.
Hold on.
Let me see the receivers available in this range.
Can you see it better now?
Yeah, I can see a little better.
Why is it like that?
I don't know. It's just stretched out.
Why? Yeah, it's like super skinny. I wish I could get rid of this.
Jacob, whose age? Ariante Ursary.
Wide receiver. He ran a 4.20.
Yeah, which I get it. Like it was a bad time, but his tape is that dude just gets open.
Trey Harris is a dog.
Trey Harris is a dog, and Noel. But Noel is more of a skill set you already have. Harris is an outside guy. I would lean Harris between those guys. But they're saying his ADP's 75. I don't think that's true. I think he's not getting outside the second round no matter what.
You want to take him here then?
I'd take him there. I would definitely take Trey Harris.
Yeah, because we don't really care what grade they give us, right?
No.
Fuck them.
That's a corner I'd be interested in, by the way.
Yeah.
Porter's a dog.
And Morrison. Oh. Donovan Jackson.
Yeah, I feel like I'm on an island. I don't think a lot of people will even let him try tackle. I let him try tackle.
I would too. I think he could do both.
I haven't done PFFs in a while. I haven't done a mock with them. The sport's kind of all over the place for me.
Wyatt Millum.
I love Millum.
Yeah. Who do you want here, though?
He's got a receiver, but I like Royals a great deal.
There's Henderson.
I love CJ West.
You do.
I know Big Al Collins got hurt. To me, this is early for West, but I just love his motor, dude. He's so good against the run, and his ability to chase shit laterally is ridiculous at the line of scrimmage.
Porter's really good.
Yeah, dude. I would. We know they're going to take 24. A corner at some point.
He's 24. They won't take him.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing is we cross a ton of great prospects off this board just because of the way their guardrails are set up. But I get why they do it, because you don't want your dude to end his rookie contract turning 29. I understand it. Let's snatch a running back here, man.
Who do you want though? Trevion?
It looks like Trevion's the bell of the
My
ball right
pick.
here.
That's my pick all day. Giddens, Royals, Cam Williams.
Ooh, I see the safety.
Yeah. You want him?
Let's see what else we got. This isn't like I don't see
Devin
how
Neal.
wacky their board is.
Milrow,
Should get him and trade him to someone.
David Walker, Damian Martinez, Harold Fant
You
Jr.
might take Harold Fan in here. It's either going to be Fan or you.
I can get into
want him on my
Fannin.
team just because he's young as shit too. He's very young. He's
Parrish is. I like Parrish as a corner.
yeah. He's when people talk about got that dog in him.
Yeah,
Jacob Parrish fits that.
And he's 21.
And people like, oh, he's not tall, but he's not. He has length for 5'10", and he is relentless.
He is.
Well, this is a sweet spot. I'm seeing tons of dudes I'm into right here.
Helm.
I would take Fannin over Helm if we're going tight end here. If we're going,
Dorian Strong is a good corner too.
yeah.
All right, you want to do it? You can go safety. We never even got a tackle. Cam Williams is more of a right tackle, right?
Yeah,
Or
someone argue
Fannin.
he's a guard.
You want to go Fannin?
Okay, let's just talk this out real quick. Safety's going to be more scarce.
Yeah,
as we can get a tight end at 104. If that's
yeah.
the
I'm
route
off.
we would
I'm.
choose.
You know, I love this guy. I just took.
Yeah,
him.
same here. Yep, pull the trigger. Fannin's still there.
Yeah.
It's a
You want to take him
win.
now?
I would take him or Dorian Strong's on my board here. Fannin. It's high for Bass, although I like him. Just go up one. I want to talk about a player real quick.
Yeah.
Adofea right there. All the Deja.
You like him?
Yes. Crazy movement skills. When we talk about like A+ humans, that's another one. This one right here, 5-star human being. Crazy skill set off ball linebacker transitions to edge. Same story as Abdul Carter. Doesn't get the pub. Obviously, you're out in UCLA. The kid would be a hell of a curveball to throw in as a situational pass rusher. Crazy movement skills.
You want to take him? I can dig it. We need an edge.
We need an edge. Add him to the room.
Take him.
Add him to
Okay,
the
take
room.
him. Take him.
All the Deja. You couldn't get Abdul Carter, so you got Abdul Carter light.
There you go. This board's not changing much here.
Although Fannin came off.
Yeah.
Okay, Gunnar Helm is on the board. You need a secondary tight end.
What do you think of these Kansas corners, Dotson and Bryant?
Bryant's a troublemaker out there.
Yeah.
you watch him play. Like he's sleight of frame. He's got good man skills though, good ball skills. He's feisty.
Yeah, I can't get that into Dotson though.
Was Dorian Strong still on the board or am I going crazy?
No, Parrish is though.
I would take Parrish over.
Dorian Strong.
I would take him. If I get my pick of the corners, I'm taking him. They're available.
Strong?
Yeah. But we got to start leaning back. Heavy offense now. Can we trade back up? Do we have a chance? Is there 70? Can we get in this mix? Do we want to wait 70 picks? Do we want to make 11 picks or whatever it is?
No. What pick are we going for?
Let's look at the range here.
120-ish?
So I know in the 129 Minnesota Vikings, is that a real thing?
129 is Baltimore.
So is it 139? Where's Minnesota? Because they ain't got a lot of picks.
139.
Okay, that's moving up 40 spots from where we're currently at. And look, dude, they only got one pick after that. Let's give them some picks. Let's just be generous here.
All right.
See what it takes.
Boom. You want to give them 200 and 179 to get up to 139?
We'll move up 40 spots. I'd make that trade.
Let's see if they will. Done.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep. Let's see what's on
You
the
want to
board.
make another trade or no?
Let's make this one at 139, and then let's see if we can get rid of 216 and 255.
Reassess. What do you think of Crenshaw Dixon?
Huge. Boy, the epic fall of Quinn Ewers. I like Cornelius, more of a right tackle, but he's kind of like a small school guy,
Yeah.
like Rhode Island transfer. He looked good. He looked good at Oregon. Obviously, with Connerly over there was no option to put him over there. But it wouldn't cap his ceiling. Ooh. We've already got.
If he is, there's no way he makes it that far.
No, I'm with you. Look, can we just let's pull up some certain positions to see, because I don't know how PFF's got their boards skewed here. I want to see where their wide receiver rankings and their tight end rankings. See who's available.
Both.
Yeah, I want to
see.
Yeah, I just want to see whatever we got here as far as playmakers go. Who I like Hall's a great deal.
Yeah. Let's trigger.
He's the best blocking tight end in this draft, and he's not a bad receiver. He's not going to wow you with it, but I'm telling you right now, he'll earhole cats. It's like having another tackle out there, or more like a pulling guard, really. I like Conyers a lot too. Jalen Conyers out of Texas Tech. He's fun. Kid's fun. 260-pound tight end, 6'4".
Damn.
But his movement skills, he doesn't move like 265.
I like Haas. Let's do him.
Okay. No,
Haas. What picks do we have left? Can we turn 3 late picks into a top 150 pick?
I know the Eagles have a bunch of picks in like the 160 range. They have like 2.
All right.
I think they have 164 as well and 165. So they might be willing to come off one of their picks since they're
161. They traded those or something. You go to Minnesota again. That's a little late, huh?
Yeah. So all Philly had was that one, because in reality they have like.
Yeah, they're missing. Look, they're not even on here. 163 to 166.
Oh, I can't even see that on this screen.
Let's see. There they are.
That's what I'm saying. They have a bunch in the 160 range. I'd try to pry one away.
All right, let's try it here.
And you just
you
can call Howie.
Get it.
All right. Send with a bang. Okay, hold on. Don't look at the board yet. Go to Can you go to our picks? And look at this. Look at this haul and ask yourself, what position would you like to add to this?
Okay. First of all, 1, 2, 3 offenses.
Anyone else horny?
We're going to the playoffs. 240.
I'm saying
243, 67, and that safety and this edge. We're going to the playoffs. Strong, Pause. I mean, this is a ridiculous haul in real life. You kidding me?
All right, this is where the practical part of me comes in. I think you could add a defensive tackle to this group.
Yeah.
If you get a two gapper that's chilling out here in this range, the two gappers typically hang out in.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at a second running back if you want to differentiate skills, although Henderson's a full, is the full slate for you. McLaughlin could be your center of the future. Just saying it.
Another
Definitely
Ohio
could be.
State center.
I don't, I'm not trying to just load up on Ohio State players, but kid's going to be a stud center.
Danny Stutzman, I like.
Yeah.
Don't feel the need to draft a linebacker this high, I don't think.
No.
Especially after the Jerome Baker signing.
Yeah.
Jordan James, every one of my mocks. Love this Dante Thornton Jr. He's a
when
freak.
people talk about height, weight, speed, guys, that's the dude.
Yeah. Zeke Biggers.
Mm-hmm. I like Tafuna a lot too. Junior Tafuna.
Did I pass him?
Yeah, he was right above Biggers, like 3 spots above.
What about Tonka
Hemingway? First team name. He's a stud, though.
Did we have any other big boys up here? No. You want Tonka?
He more of a gap shooter.
That's what we want.
296 pounds. I'm looking for a 2-gap guy. I'm looking for a big son of a bitch who you can just put in the A gap and say, good. We don't have that guy on the roster.
Tim Smith.
Add that guy on the roster. These are sneaky players, right? Because this dude has the most boring name imaginable.
Yeah.
Tim Smith. We just passed up a Tonka Hemingway to get you a Tim Smith.
That's so true.
The draft's tricky. Draft is tricky. Juice Wells. That dude fell
This is
hard.
your guy right here.
Yeah, motor. Also, dude, like I don't like to generalize an entire group of people, but give me Samoans. I love Samoans up front.
Yeah, I'm with you. Should hold up as a day 3 depth player. Tufana is a linebacker, defensive tackle convert. That's wild.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. He's got a nose for it.
Bulked up from 225 to 300 plus.
Yeah.
That's easy for him, though.
Easy for me. I'm not Samoan. I can do that.
Unique first step quickness. Good lateral movements. Get across the face of blockers. Hands are up and active.
Yeah.
Keep his chest clean. Quick reaction time.
He went with quickness, and he's got powerful hands, but he's also a gap shooter.
Good pursuit speed. Doesn't have the best.
He was a ton of fun at the Senior Bowl, by the way. That was one of those dudes.
Power dies out quickly if he doesn't shoot a gap.
World's fastest has an idea, and it's Nazir Stackhouse from Georgia. That dude, his last name fits him.
Stackhouse?
Yeah, he eats gaps. But look, we could also go crazy sexy and just take the flashiest thing you can see. It's our final pick, like.
He's a big boy.
Huge human being, dog. Huge, 6'8", and is he
342?
He's 6'6" and change if he's 6'6".
Yeah.
I did see my boy Willie Lampkin stand him up. Saw your boy Teddy B.
Teddy B. Like Oronde Gadsden the second, too.
If we're taking tight end, I would want Jalen Connors because he's still on the board. If we're going with the second tight end. Which I'm saying they have that need, but I wouldn't.
Dude, we like Ty Robinson.
That's insane. Insane. This dude's first team all brood squad.
Yeah, he's way
dude, way down. super athlete, crazy, just pushes pockets.
This guy's a super athlete. You watch this guy play, he's like a whirling dervish. Shmael Munden Jr. Mondin.
Typically taking Georgia defenders is a safe bet, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think we're going linebacker here, though.
He's super light without the ability to evade people like JOK. He just flies around.
You just passed a crazy athlete at linebacker, too. Nick Martin.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State.
I'm looking for this Stackhouse.
Oh, he's going to be down, dude. I would also Carson Vincent. I would take that dude in a fucking second.
Where's that?
He just passed him. He's like the last. Somehow they had him listed offensive lineman.
There he is. Down. Georgia defender Nazir Stackhouse. 22, 320, 6'3". You want him?
We need a space eater. This team needs a space eater.
I didn't scroll down here for nothing. We're taking him.
Also, phenomenal name.
Phenomenal name. All name team. Kim Ward, Trey Harris, Travion Henderson, Andrew Mukuba, Oluwafemi Oladejo, Dorian Strong, Jackson Hawes.
There's one to hand us the Lombardi right here, Brad.
Stackhouse.
The grade's going to be the Lombardi trophy.
Yeah, they're just going to be like, we give up. You guys hacked the... Oh, they want us to pass on the Ole Miss receiver to take the Ole Miss corner.
The Ole Miss corner's old. He's a good player. Sticky. He has the length. I see why you'd be into him. Old.
There it is. It's a thing of beauty.
They hate the Stackhouse pick. They hate it.
Of course. It's 295 on their board.
But this gives you some physicality and a dude who can one gap that shit.
We don't care about this. They're all over the place on their grades.
Yeah, well, their board's whacked out. But we also did 50-50 with them in the public. And don't get me wrong, man. I respect Trevor Sikkema greatly, and he's who mostly puts this together. But we differentiate.
Yeah,
dude. Yeah, the parade that would take place if they did this.
Yeah, exactly. Interesting. Any chance Matthew Golden gets out of the first round? No way in hell, huh?
Not now.
Here's my question, and this is gonna be. I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to talk about it a ton because it's my topic for tomorrow night. But as you say, they go whoever at 2. Take your pick. It's not Cam Ward and it's not Shedeur Sanders, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at 33 for quarterback. Like a lot of people assume, then they're going to go quarterback at 33, either trade up or take Dart there, whoever they like in that area. I got to question it a little bit because if you take a project there, instead of a guy that is supposed to be a 2, 33 is a super valuable pick. I mean, should be a day one. In my opinion, that's a day one starter, 2 contract player.
Needs to be, yeah.
And if you go quarterback there
with a guy who's not going to start right away,
who's not going to play, that's in this kind of a season where you need wins, that's problematic.
Yeah, you're passing over. And obviously the board's the board, but like if Josh Connerly's there, if that happens and he slides and he's available, Abuka, like there's several players that could slide out of the first, be there, who could help you right away and
real difference makers.
Yeah, dude.
Yep. And you're going to take like
a guy who
Milrow or
a guy who best case scenario doesn't see the field at all.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, football gods don't care about the best case scenario. They'll dictate whatever they dictate, but you have to go into it with a plan for the said player. And if plan for Milrose to like, hey, we're just going to show him, he's going to learn, we're going to bring him along slowly. You're passing over a guy who could, you know, and Connerly, in my opinion, who could be your starting left tackle for the next 2 contracts.
Jeffrey's so like this is so insulting. Look up what the Packers look it up like I wasn't aware of what the Packers did.
I've heard of this Jordan Love character.
Thanks. I was already familiar with that. I don't need to look it up. But
that's the best. That's the thing is you get caught reaching for quarterbacks because the teams that reach for quarterbacks don't have a quarterback and they're desperate. They do whatever they got to do. But the best time to take a quarterback is when you already have a quarterback. But you're so rarely in that position to where you can afford to be like, oh, we'll just take this guy. Like, yeah. I love, like, if you're in that position, God bless you. The reality is most leagues never in that position. It is the best time to take one, but you're never in that position. So I'll remember that the next time we have a franchise quarterback who's near the end of his career.
Like if we are not in that position right now to do
we haven't been in that position in most people's lifetimes.
No, and you know what I mean? And I get the idea that you have to take a swing at somebody at quarterback. Mm-hmm. But like a lot of the people that are like, no, it's Sanders and no, this class, they're like, we're coming back in 26. And I get the idea of taking a swing at 33 and then coming back already thinking that you're going to come back in 26. That's 2 swings. And I get you should be doing that. It's just at 33. It's such a valuable commodity. Mm-hmm. In a year you have to win.
Yeah, and it's also the pick that gets traded easily just because teams have all night to think about who slipped out of the first round. And there's a lot of value in that, man. There's enough holes to plug at crucial positions and kids that could be available at that selection that it's hard for me to say quarterback no matter what. It's the same thing I get it too when people are saying that quarterback no matter what. It's like I hear you, but I to me that is just terrible process.
Arguing with Browns fans about Carter being too small and injury prone is maybe want to delete X. I feel you, man. I feel you.
But this is what happens when we have this much time to dissect shit. You're going to like poke holes in everything.
Like we weren't in that position.
Not there, and you have a chance to take Abdul Carter unless someone comes with an offer you can't refuse. You take Cam and you don't look, or you take Carter and don't think twice. You just take it and just like, okay, got an elite player at a pivotal position in the NFL, edge rusher.
Dude, Jeffrey, they had Brock Osweiler and Deshaun Kaiser, and we had a chance to start Brock Osweiler so Kaiser could sit. What? Are we serious right now?
I mean, we could have had that championship with Brock Osweiler. I don't know what you don't see about this.
The situation that we're talking about, just Jeff, is that is that is that you have a successful quarterback and you're winning, so there isn't the urgency there, right? Yeah. And then you can sit the quarterback behind a guy that's an established winning quarterback. It can't stop. Yeah. Appreciate you guys hanging around. 634 of you. Yeah, so you said that's a bad process to do that with the
yes. To reach for a quarterback out of desperation is always going to be bad process.
But is that what you consider doing it at 33 is?
It just the board dictates whether you're reaching or not.
Like Dart isn't really a reach at 33, I don't think.
He is to me, but we already know that dude's a third rounder to me. Is the third rounder going to go in the second rounder? Second round, yeah, easily.
He's not going to make it to the third round. There's no
I know,
way
but that
in hell.
doesn't change my evaluation. What's going to happen can't change my. That's also a bad process to do it based on what everyone else thinks.
Not a quarterback is different though. Quarterback is different. You can't just say quarterback is this grade, so I won't take him till the third round. That there's some nuance there with quarterback. Okay. It's the most important position in the game. It has to be valued differently, Case.
Dude, it can't change my process. I don't know what you're not understanding about this. If I view a dude as a third round prospect, to me, he's a third round prospect. I don't give a damn.
Okay. No matter how much you need a quarterback.
I got to stand on what I see, man. I can't be like, well, everyone else thinks he's better. I better think so too.
Now, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying everybody else thinks he's better. But,
okay. 33 is a huge reach for me.
Okay, that's fine. I'm not even, this isn't even about 33. This is just about in general. If you need a quarterback, you're going to have to make some concessions. That's your own fault for putting yourself in that position. But you also just can't sit back and say, well, I have a fourth round grade on him. So even though we need him desperately to even have a chance this year, because we have nobody else on that. We have Kenny Pickett and Carson Wentz on the roster. I'm gonna, in this hypothetical nightmare, I'm just gonna let other teams take him higher than that because they have fourth round grades on him too. They just know that quarterback is gonna go higher in every draft. This is just something we have come to accept.
You said something in there that I can't get down with. You said we need him because we have, dude. I view one quarterback in this draft as a day one starter. One. So there's only one quarterback I look at like you draft him. He's your dude.
I'm not saying like these guys specifically. I'm just saying if you need a guy to start because your room is dog shit, then you should be willing to move up and get a guy beyond your evaluation of him in the draft.
Yes. Yes. If I view that player as a guy who's going to have to start right away, you need him
or he's better than anybody you have on the roster. No.
Do I think Dart's better than the guys on the roster?
No, I'm not asking about specifically Dart. I'm saying in a situation.
In a situation, yes. If I have an evaluation on him that's better than any guy, then what? That blows my mind.
What?
Yeah, yes. Well, because look, I can't it's hard to put myself in the Brown shoes based on who's in the room right now. Like Jesus Christ, it's fucking terrible. It's fucking terrible.
Yeah. So Pickett and Wentz. Wentz isn't even here yet.
Yeah, I can't count that.
Okay, so it's just Pickett then as we go into the draft. And as we go into the draft, it's just Pickett.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's just say because 33 is too rich, even though I think he's going in the first round.
That's fine. I think if you draft Dart there and you have to start Dart week one, I think you end up ruining him. I don't think he's ready. I think he could be. He has tools. I think he's a guy that I view similar to Milrose. You need to season that kid up. By just throwing him
not as much as Milroe though,
but it's on the same level to me. I don't think it's like worlds different. The kid needs seasoning at this level.
I think he's closer to game ready than you think.
Okay, well, obviously you do because we have a bet about it. But I'm just saying, I don't want to. Whoever you take, you don't want to ruin him.
Here's the thing, though, Case. My bet has nothing to do with my evaluation of him being game ready or not. My bet on them going in the first round is just knowing that teams are going to reach on a quarterback that they think is of his level. They see the arm. They see his pocket presence, which is there, but he's twitchy. He's quick in the pocket. He can run well. They like what they see, and somebody's going to reach on him. I just know it. It's the NFL.
Okay. All right. Obviously,
there's nobody else in this class. So for me, it's not even about Like, the bet isn't about my eval on him or even what the Browns should do. It's just what I know other teams are going to do. So that's what the bet's about. I'm just saying, is it really bad process if your quarterback room is Kenny Pickett and Carson Wentz, and
that's the bad process.
Yes,
that's the bad process.
That's the process. But like at that point, though, don't you have to have some urgency in the draft at that position?
If you plan on playing him as a rookie,
say this is a different quarterback class, and you think that there's somebody. What about Shuck? People say he could play right away.
It scares me, dude. I got weed and PTSD. It sounds terrible.
I know. It is terrible.
It sounds terrible.
And
whoever decided to post that play today that I saw him do.
Oh my God.
Jeez, I can't.
What the hell was that?
Like
the underhanded flop throw?
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways.
Charlie Chuck, yes, I know quarterbacks get overdrafted. I see it, but I also see it as bad process. I can see that.
But it can't always be bad process because the value
Tell me the times it works out, and then I'll agree with you. Tell me the times
it worked out for Denver last year.
Okay, I'll hear that argument. It
worked out for Atlanta last year. Those guys were wildly overdrafted. There's no way you had a first-round grade on those quarterbacks.
Well, Atlanta, I'm going to call that incomplete. The Denver one, yes. There was enough body of work for me to be like,
but
that clearly works. And Denver, what they're doing with the Knicks clearly works. I'll concede that.
So
far. Okay, do you want me to compile a list for next week's show of the times it didn't work out? Because that's greatly bigger than the times that it did, Brad. Let's put it on the table.
Everything you're saying though, that's always going to happen in the draft because the hit rate in the draft is so low. So there's going to be more misses than hits regardless. That's built into the process, right? You can have a grade 1 first round eval on a guy and miss 75% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't just say that about anything. That's inherent that you're going to miss a lot of the time. That's a part of the draft. But the second part is that I'm saying is that because the value of quarterback is so greater than every other position, it inherently is going to get valued greater by teams. And I don't think that's always bad process. In certain situations, yes. But when like you said, the bad process is having Kenny Pickett and Wentz in your quarterback room and putting your team in that position.
Yeah. That doesn't make me feel good about doubling down on my bad processing. It just doesn't. I can't feel good about it.
But at some point, man, it's about fielding the best team. Isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not defending what they've done. I'm just saying I don't feel like doubling down on that, being like, well, we shit the bed and stalking this quarterback room.
Just take the shitty quarterback and just leave it at that.
Because he's the best.
Taking a chance on somebody that could be better.
No. This is the wrong draft to have this conversation with a quarterback, I think. Like if there was
I'm saying take this draft class out of the equation. But like I'm saying take this out of the equation and make it Sanders then at 33. You don't have a first round grade on him, do you?
No, not a second.
Would you take him at 33?
I think you have to consider it.
Yeah.
God damn it. But the board also matters.
That's my point.
That's
my point.
What?
That's my point. Do you see what I mean?
Kind of, but it still doesn't. That doesn't feel as egregious. But I also feel like, God damn.
It doesn't feel as egregious because you like the quarterback more.
Yeah.
But it's still not the grade you have on him, but you're going to make a concession to take him. It's still bad process, technically.
It's a second rounder in the second round. It's not the same.
Oh, come on. Okay, then 32. Let's say then 32 then.
How's that not the same?
Then
how the fuck's that not the same, dude? Like
you get my point, man.
You don't get my you act like you don't get mine. Like
you're gaslighting the shit out of me right now. You know that?
No, man.
You are. Case,
no.
You're gaslighting the shit out of me because you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes, I understand teams have to value that position more, and I know
that's
that
all
they
I'm
did.
Saying.
And
It can't always be bad process.
I am not the team. I am not a GM. I have to stand on what I believe and what I think. It's a disservice to the chat. It's a disservice to anyone if I speak like I just don't go along with what I think. Because why would I do that? And you think a different way. So you're saying what you think. It doesn't mean like
I don't. I think we're kind of saying the same thing in a roundabout way, but like, I'm just saying as a GM, this is such a stupid conversation. As a GM, you would have to make concessions at certain times at quarterback. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And it may be bad process, but sometimes you're going to be forced into that.
Okay. Well, but the circle back. Dart at 33 is too big of a concession for me personally. I'm not saying it's them. Yes. For me, I could it happen? Yeah. Dude, I can
kind of agree. I kind of agree because
this week was the first week because I do this thing for mock draft weigh-ins where I take all the national draft pundits and I look at all their mock drafts and I see who they have as taken and I either agree or disagree and list my reasons. And I saw Dart go in the top fucking 10. Yeah. First time that's happened. That happened this week.
Spam, 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 spam. Honey! Get Kinnamon to spam. Fry that shit up. Put a tomato on
reality.
That thing.
It's the first time. And I've seen other people say it, but there weren't people that I like that I view as reputable. I've seen reputable people predicting. I saw Daniel
small, so he
Daniel Jeremiah had this.
There.
Daniel Jeremiah had him at 21 to the Steelers. Like you're starting to see it. That's starting to happen now.
It's happening.
I hear you.
It's just when you come to grips with it, my friend. No, you did. I'll admit, you sent me a text. You said, damn.
It's starting to happen. The actual movement that I was worried about. Like, I'm not worried about, like, when I start seeing movement on that front, there's, like, certain guys that I see, when they say shit, it's like, okay.
Because they're talking to people that are in the rooms, right?
Daniel Jeremiah in particular. That dude doesn't mock with his eyes. He mocks with his ears.
Did he have Dart in the first round?
21 to Pittsburgh, which, if I'm going to be honest, if he goes to Pittsburgh, I'll eat that spam with a smile on my face. But it's a first rounder nonetheless.
I think he's wrong, though, because I think they are in love with Milroe.
Yeah, but they also did the same thing with Malik Willis during the draft process with, we love this guy, yada, yada. I can't go with what I hear from teams. Teams are all about bullshitness.
So I am in, I'm afraid to look at my phone right now. Does anybody, who's winning the, God damn it.
What you got money on?
No. So I'm in a survivor pool.
Mm-hmm.
High stakes survivor pool for NCAA tournament. Made it through day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. Like 2,000 entrants down to 200.
Oh.
Winner takes all, 15K, right? And I need to know if Alabama is winning right now. Anybody know? Anybody know? March Madness. Let's go.
Did you win?
If I advance to dude, I have it. They're up 10. Yep. If I have it perfectly laid out. So I'm going Bama here, right? You don't have no idea what I'm talking about, do you?
Well, NCAA tournament? Yeah.
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 No, I mean, are you following it at all?
I mean, I've watched not a single dribble of college basketball this year. And I entered. I'm tied for the lead in the OBR bracket. 4 entries, not 2,000. 4.
Nobody told me about the OBR bracket. I guess
on the Browns banter.
I guess
Michael Keith posted it.
I guess I'm such a savage that you guys wanted to keep me out of the.
My name is Casey Buckets.
You wanted to keep me out of the. You've seen all my.
You guys were all getting in it, man. I literally have not watched a dribble of basketball. Not one. Not one dribble of hoop.
Anyways, the Survivor way it works is you take a team, you can't take them again. So in the NCAA tournament, just like football,
yeah, you gotta get by in the early rounds, burning teams that are like no one's taking.
Yeah, you want to pick a team that can just get by that round and then lose, so you're still open later. Because what can happen is you
want to have heavyweights at the end.
You can trap yourself out of the Final Four. Now, if you only make it as far as everybody else, then you can split the money. But so you got to weigh that option too, because not always do they even make it to the finals, right? People just run out.
Peter out. Yeah.
But I have it right now. So far, so good. I think I have the path. All right.
If Bama wins, who do you have left to choose from?
Okay, so the only teams that I have taken, so I took Connecticut. Wait, I took Gonzaga first round, Connecticut second round. They've both lost, so that's great, right? And then I took Texas Tech. Then they won. They're still in. They play Arkansas this week in either today or tomorrow. I think today maybe. And then I took Arizona, and they're still in. And they play Duke, so that's great. Duke's going to beat Arizona. At least I think so. So I think Duke's
got Duke winning the whole thing.
Yeah. So then I'm going Alabama right now, and they're beating BYU, right? So, and then tomorrow I'm planning so far, unless there's upset or something and I'll have to reevaluate, I'm going to go Tennessee over Kentucky. Okay. That leaves me then, if they were both to win, that would leave me in the Elite Eight, and you have to make 2 picks in the Elite Eight. So I would then take Houston to win and get in. And I would take either Michigan State or Auburn, because I haven't taken either of them, and if they both win, they'll play each other. Unless there's an upset up there, then it'd be easier to pick, but that'll be a tough call. Now, I like Michigan State a lot, so I think I'll take Michigan State, but I can pick either one to get in the Final Four. Then hoping that Duke and Florida get in, I would be able to take Florida to get to the championship and Duke to win it all.
Are you already spending the $15,000 in your head now?
No, but I did it backwards, right? So after I got through the first 16, I'm like, okay, let's see what we have, and then I did it backwards, and I'm like, dude, I got a good shot at this.
Okay, so what would you do with the $15,000? What's one thing you would do?
I let it ride, man. I put it all down on black.
This is a long scheme, isn't it?
No, I'm just kidding, dude. I'm just kidding. I would invest it. Pay off some of whatever. Pay some bills. Not bills, but
I wanted to hear something sexier. I wanted to hear I'm buying a flamethrower.
No,
I'm getting a pet tiger. I wanted to hear it go big.
I might buy a new car. All right, I got to get out of here.
You should attach a flamethrower to the car.
I love you guys. Casey, I love you. Chat, that our arguments can't break this bond, man.
Nope. No,
I get as mad as we want. We're talking about football here. It's not real. It's real, but it's not, this love will never. A flamethrower for weeds?
You can't joke about that. I'm living in a state with I got a crazy fire less than an hour from me right now. The sky is rainy. It's flurrying ash where I live right now.
Are you serious?
Table Rock, South Carolina is on fire. They've already burnt 6,000 acres of wildfire in the very northern part of my state. It's happening because of somebody with a flamethrower for weeds.
Wow.
I have no idea how it started.
I really got to go, but
okay.
Thank you for I'm right up against it. Thank you guys for watching. Hit like and subscribe on your way out. I appreciate all of you. Casey, Put Spam on your grocery list this month. You're going to need it. Thanks for watching All Eyes on Cleveland. Everybody have a wonderful night. Casey Kinnamon, the always fantastic Casey Kinnamon, Big Case Dog. My name is Brad Ward. Have a wonderful evening. We are out.